All right, so after a long time, we are live again, and आज ज्वाइन किया है हमें none other than Dwipli, and जैसा लोग देख सकते हैं टाइटल में भी तो बेसिकली वी विल कीप इट अबाउट एशेज ओनली. यूजुअली मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ कि कमेंट्स में कुछ नॉन एशेज रिलेटेड क्वेरीज भी आ जाएंगी, बट वी विल स्टार्ट विद एशेज. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, वेलकम बैक ड्विपली आफ्टर लॉन्ग टाइम. आई थिंक 4-5 मंथ्स के बाद हमारा इंटरेक्शन हो रहा है. एशिया कप से तब से लेके अब तक में बहुत कुछ चेंज हो गया. उस टाइम कुछ और जियो पॉलिटिकल इशू चल रहा था इंडिया का, अभी कुछ और चल रहा है, तो उस पर हम नहीं जाएंगे. सो फर्स्ट आई विल स्टार्ट विथ कितने मैचेस देखे आपने इस एशेज के और क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहा आपका? मतलब जो एक्सपेक्टेशन थी सीरीज के पहले वो फुलफिल हुई या नहीं?
Hi. Yeah, great to be back here 4 or 5 months later. I mean, I missed this. I don't know if other people missed this, but I certainly missed this.
सेम हियर.
Um, क्या कहते हैं the Ashes? They were a bit underwhelming. मेरे pre-series expectations थे कि थोड़ा तो थोड़ा तो excitement होगा, थोड़ा वो competitiveness होगी, थोड़ा उस front पे it was a bit disappointing. क्या कहते हैं ऑफ द टेस्ट मैचेस 5 में से मैं 3 मैंने पूरे देखे थे द फर्स्ट 3 द फोर्थ वन आई वाज अ बिट सिक फॉर द फोर्थ वन so I was not able to watch much of it, and then the fifth one I had checked out by the fifth one. I was like Andrew McDonald also said that after the first 3 tests he had checked out of the series.
बट स्टार्ट तो जो फर्स्ट डे था, फ्रॉम वेरी फर्स्ट ओवर स्टार्क जैसा किया, तो फर्स्ट डे तो बिल्कुल ब्लॉकबस्टर ही था.
Yeah.
उसके बाद उम्मीद बन गई थी कि हाँ, क्योंकि जैसे ही बॉलिंग करी थी उस दिन इंग्लैंड ने, और फिर एमसीजी में तो चलो ठीक है, वो थैंक्स टू पिच एंड ऑल, बट फर्स्ट डे ऑफ फर्स्ट टेस्ट, उस पर मैं पहले जानना चाहूँगा आपका इनपुट फॉर ऑल द बॉलर्स एक्सेप्ट स्टार्क, बिकॉज स्टार्क एनीवेज काफ़ी गुणगान हो चुका है उनके लिए.
Uh-huh.
तो फॉर
No,
अदर्स.
I thought the first day was incredible. First day was very very exciting. It was like the first day of the India test a year ago.
या.
It was almost exactly like that. I think the conditions were slightly easier, very slightly easier, but it was same sort of pace and this difficulty of facing the thing. And England's entire attack was on that day.
तो
Everyone was
कंडीशंस
at
यू आर
their
सेइंग स्लाइटली इजियर और द बॉलिंग क्वालिटी स्लाइटली lower, because obviously with Bumrah, Cummins, Heatherwood, and then with all due respect to these bowlers.
That's also partly true. I think so. I was about to get to this. So, क्या कहते हैं? Stark was obviously very good on that opening day in Perth. Boland was a bit full that day.
Hmm.
He didn't quite hit his. So as the series went on, and almost from the next day itself, Boland found his length, and so he was a lot better towards the back half
I'll
of the
just
series.
I'll just interrupt you here, so, and I think you only will remember this because, and it just clicked my mind. Similar to Boland, in the Perth Test first day, even Cummins was slightly wavered when India
Oh, are,
scored.
are we talking about the Perth? Or are we talking about the India test? Yeah, the India test he was wavered. Yeah,
Yeah.
he
So
was coming off layoff. So
yeah. So and then after that, from second test, he picked his lines, and then Boland, I think from second day itself, corrected himself.
oh yeah, I was actually talking about the England test. I
Yes,
was
yes,
talking
yes.
about the Ashes test.
No, you talked about this Boland. No, then मुझे कमिंस का भी ध्यान आ गया, सिमिलरिटी.
Yeah, from the India test.
Hmm.
I remember from the India series, क्या कहते हैं, Cummins was very off the mark in the first test, but then for the rest of the series, he was back to being Cummins again from the second test. He had mentioned that क्या कहते हैं, I'm coming off a break, so I have not been quite at my best. And then
Yeah.
he actually got back to his best from the very next test. Next test in Adelaide, he took a fifer, I think, a sixer
Mm-hmm.
in the second innings when he was bouncing people out and doing all of those kinds of things. So anyway, coming back to the Ashes, yeah, I think the surface was slightly easier. Even just visually, the surface was not doing quite as much as it was in the India test. It was slightly easier, very very slightly. But the tests basically followed the same pattern where the first day was very spicy, and then from the second day it would flatten out for a period of time, and then it would go up and down again at the end of the test match. But the test match never went on that long, so we never got to see that same sort of pattern play out. And so that first day at Perth, like I was mentioning, the bowling from England was exceptional that day because everyone was bowling at their peak sort of pace and peak zip. Archer was in the early 150s, late
Hmm.
140s consistently. Mark Wood was in the 150s. Cars was at his peak pace. Even Atkinson,
Atkinson.
yeah, even Atkinson also, although Atkinson never dropped his pace through the series, he generally maintained it. But क्या कहते हैं, so it was exceptional bowling, and I know Stokes ended up taking a fifer in that innings, but he was actually the worst of the bowlers in
Yep.
that
Yep.
particular innings. He was off his lines and lengths, and he was not bowling particularly well. But like the Lilac Hill warm-up game, he ended up taking a lot of wickets
बट
through
आई
a
थिंक
lot of
उसका जो
jump deliveries from the
ऑल
pressure that
ऑल
everyone else had built
ऑल
up.
प्रीवियस एक्यूमुलेशन उसका आ गया कि जो यहाँ पे वो बहुत सारे मोमेंट प्रोड्यूस करता था बट विकेट नहीं मिल पाते थे
Yeah,
तो somehow
yeah. It was one of those days where things went right for him. So England was exceptional that day in the conditions and given the pace that the bowlers are able to maintain for that short duration of time. But even on the first day itself, I was able to note that England's lengths were a bit shorter than ideal for that particular surface. Like, so if you go back a year and you see what lengths Bumrah had bowled in the Perth test, those are the ideal lengths for that surface. So you keep the top of off stump in play and you bowl it at a fuller side of a good length and keep taking wickets both through edges and also via threatening the stumps. But England were back of a length. And so a pattern that became a large part of the series as it went on was you could see it even on that first day when they were bowling really well and they were getting good outcomes. You could see that they were a bit shorter than ideal. I thought at that particular point of time, because it was only the first innings of the series, I thought, okay, they know this is a fast surface, they know they have the pace, and therefore they are bowling these particular lengths which are working on this surface. They're not the ideal length for the surface, but on this surface, given their attributes, these particular lengths work well. But then they carried those lengths over for the rest of the series for almost all of their new ball spells.
hmm.
And apart from Melbourne, where they got their lengths right.
Yep. So new
So,
ball, as you mentioned, so do you think the अगर कोई एक चीज़ चुननी हो इस पूरी सीरीज में इंग्लैंड के लिए, अपार्ट फ्रॉम आई थिंक एनीवे फील्डिंग के लोग बात कर रहे हैं बट फील्डिंग उनकी अगर लोगों ने फॉलो किया होगा इंडिया सीरीज में भी वैसे ही थी और उसके पहले भी लगभग ऐसे ही चली आ रही है, तो डू यू थिंक न्यू बॉल उन्होंने वो जो स्टोक्स का कह सकते टेक्निकल ब्लाइंड स्पॉट है जो भी वो मिस किया?
definitely, especially in the back half of the series.
या
So, back half of the series, में once Atkinson had gone out of the series, they क्या कहते हैं, Atkinson and Archer, both of them had gone out of the series. Then what's his name? Kars became their new ball bowler, and so Kars was bowling with the new ball all the time, and he would just concede a million runs per over, and
ऑलमोस्ट
immediately that puts you
ऑल
on
द
the
टाइम,
back foot. Sorry.
ऑलमोst all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And this when Australia is already having one struggling opener.
Correct, correct. And it's sort of, I thought, and I still think that you will maximize the value of Travis Head and the value of your team by keeping him in your middle order because
Yes, I was
he can maximize the old ball
I
over
was
there.
keeping this point for later, but yeah, we'll see who came up because even in previous session also I mentioned that even though Head is scoring runs as opener, but I would love to see him as number five only because number five
Yeah.
उसकी value is much better than what he's giving as an opener.
Correct. And so the funny thing is in this, but for this particular series, it has worked out very well
Hmm.
because England have bowled old ball lengths and old ball areas to him with the new ball and
Yeah.
have bowled terribly, especially through Cars and even Potts in this particular test match. He was way too short and he
Hmm.
was way too wayward. And so they have in some ways allowed him to get off to those starts, which has worked really well for Australia.
Do you think that this जो हम यूजुअली इंडिया के लिए करते हैं फॉर हेड, तो समथिंग सिमिलर हैपेंड विद इंग्लैंड प्लेयर्स, कुछ मेंटली शॉट बाय सीइंग ट्रेविस हेड?
I do think he disrupts their plans and their thinking. Yeah. it does happen to them. Yeah, no, that's definitely the case over here too,
But
as it
in
is for India.
five
But
test series, it's surprisingly that one two test it understandable. And since then, in 2023 Ashes, they have actually planned for him.
correct.
So उसके बाद फिर यहाँ पे वही गलतियाँ करना.
Yeah, and so क्या कहते हैं you brought up the parallel with India, but India through that particular series last year, they
Hmm.
actually got better to head as the series went on. So they would bowl a straighter line to him coming from around the wicket and tucking him up and keeping some fielders on the leg side. So I think Bumrah dismissed him a couple of times in Melbourne, right? Fairly
Hmm.
early in the innings.
Yep.
एक बार लीव करते हुए and
फर्स्ट
एक
वाला तो
बार
हाँ वो
caught
ब्लंडर
at
ही
mid
कर.
wicket.
फर्स्ट
Caught at
इनिंग्स
mid
में.
wicket.
हम्म.
Yeah. And so they did get better through the series, but England did not get better through the series. They did not sort of formulate a consistent good plan to head as the series went on. So that's definitely a contrast over there. So क्या कहते हैं? Yeah, he did definitely disrupt them, and they didn't sort of find the answers to be able to curtail his scoring or to dismiss him. I remember there was a particular point of time in the Adelaide Test match where they had a ring field and they
हम्म.
had two sort of gullies. I think they were, even in the first couple of Test matches, they had a couple of gullies. I think that was their plan, that they would bowl.
बट दे इवन तब तक वो ऑलरेडी बहुत रन बना चुका था.
Correct, correct. And he was set. And so, क्या कहते हैं, he was able to take toll of their plans of trying to deny him scoring
एंड
because
इवन देन ओनली आई थिंक आर्चर ने उस प्लान के अकॉर्डिंग बॉलिंग करी उसे.
huh,
And I was
yeah.
reading somewhere, I think Crick Inform, that had also planned his attack carefully. He didn't आर्चर या फिर एक और बॉलर टंग आई थिंक उस पे उतना नहीं गया, बट लाइक कार्स स्टोक्स इन पे उसने फुल थ्रॉटल अटैक किया.
Yeah, if you see the, what do you call it, the head-to-head stats, his strike rate versus Archer was fairly low in this series.
Hmm.
Apart from that period where he went after him in the second innings at Perth, he
Yes,
was
yes.
generally respectful of Archer.
Yeah.
बाकी bowlers पे उसने मार पिटाई की थी.
So this, I think from coming, because Stokes say you will expect everything except these kind of blunders.
Yeah, it's very poor series for him. Not very poor, but poor series.
Yeah.
Definitely
So
very. So I initially, when everyone was sort of big upping Stokes in 2022, I was hesitant. I was like, okay, let's not get on this train of like making him a messiah. But over time, seeing his tactics up close, I really sort of found them incredibly compelling, and I thought he was the best tactical captain I have seen in Test match cricket.
yeah,
I have been seeing since
agree.
2007, so I have not seen your Mark Taylors, your Stephen Flemings, or whoever you
MC.
want to say were good tactical captains. So I haven't seen those people, but from the people I have seen, I think Stokes was the best one I had seen. But this particular series, he was just so for me, tactical captaincy and sort of good on-field captaincy is getting the best out of your particular resources and disrupting opposition plans. This
Mm.
particular series, he did not get the best out of his resources, like, for example, the new ball point we were making earlier. And he did not disrupt Australia in the way that I thought he would be able to do. And he was not sort of able to
I
pull
mean, it's
back
kind of
the.
when he played that inning of 83. So तब तक
Mhm.
ऐसा लग रहा था already he was exhausted.
Mhm. Yeah.
It was third test, right? So third test first inning. So ऐसा लग रहा था तभी तक वो मतलब अब बस नाम के लिए बस अकेले लड़ाई कर रहा है, बट हाथ से निकल चुका है सब कुछ. And to his part that
He cut
yeah.
a forlorn figure even in the second innings of the second test. जब when he played that fighting 50,
Hmm.
क्या कहते हैं,
जैक्स के
where he
साथ.
took 150 balls to get to his half century and he was batting with Will Jacks. He's
Hmm.
already cutting like a very sort of pensive and forlorn figure. He got frustrated fairly easily, not
Yeah.
fairly easily, but he got frustrated during that test match
Hmm.
where Archer had a couple of misfields and he was not
Yes.
standing in the correct position and he really lost his temper, and that's not something he had done in his captaincy up till that particular point of time. So the sort of strain on him was showing fairly early in the Test
His
series.
mental baggage was too high of this Ashes.
Correct. Yeah, it really told on him.
So now it lead us to no. First, I wanted to complete this that this head as an opener, it's kind of it created a paradox because now they don't have Khwaja and Vedral also not sure
Uh-huh.
what we can make up of his output of this series. So considering head will continue as an opener, even then they need to find one opener. And if head is coming to middle order, then they have to find two openers.
Very funny. But if head comes to the क्या कहते हैं,
Five.
if no, if head remains as opener,
Hmm.
क्या कहते हैं, it gives them one thing that now
They
they
can
can play
accommodate
both
Green and
Webster
Webster.
and
Yeah.
correct. They can play both Green and Webster now.
Hmm. So I think they will continue with it at least uh, next series with South Africa, right?
They have two tests with Bangladesh also now. Or is that after?
No, Bangladesh. I won't consider until first day of play start because Bangladesh and Afghanistan, it anytime they can cancel it.
I hope they cancel it because okay, I love all Test cricketers, but क्या कहते हैं, you know, if they suppose rest their main bowlers and they play Boland and Neeser,
Hmm.
then Boland and Neeser are going to have the most beautiful stat pad session ever, and their Test match stats are going to look a bit too good for my liking.
I know where you are going. I can sense it. But neither is far away from your hit list, no.
uh,
But that given their toil in the domestic cricket, I think they too deserve this kind of stat pad. Not Boland, but at least neither.
uh,
Yeah. So what was my next point? Yeah. So this cult of baseball, as we were discussing before this live session, that I think even in India, forget about Australia or England or other countries. When in India, people hate baseball more than they hate Congress. Yeah. And if you go stats or number wise, so I think द न्यूजीलैंड सीरीज इन बेयर इज टू हैपन उसी से वो आया था ना मैकलम
yeah,
उसी
that
सीरीज
is
से
the
तो
first series.
2022 तो
Correct.
आई थिंक they have won 25 or 26 tests in 45 odd 46 tests if I'm not wrong.
44 tests, 25 wins, 18 losses.
25 win 44 tests, so it's almost 56 or 57%, right? Win percentage.
I think the win loss ratio is about 1.3. That's what I remember. Yeah.
But still I think it's only behind Australia and South Africa.
Correct. Since the start of May 2022, they're
Hmm.
third on the win loss ratio behind Australia and South Africa.
So I think May 2022 they have played one series one more series they have played before New Zealand or not?
No, no. New Zealand was the first
New
series.
Zealand was
So
first
they
one.
played between the Ashes and the start of the New Zealand series. They played one test series in the West Indies where they were trying their
So I think
red ball
here
reset.
you are not counting this Ireland or one more test.
Ireland was in 2023.
And this year they played against Zimbabwe
Yeah.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Last year was Zimbabwe.
So I mean only behind Australia and South Africa. And for Australia, I will again come back to it because I wanted to hear your point of view on this Australia run since that टूटा है गाबा का घमंड उसके बाद से जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया का रन है तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया आई थिंक 4:1 देयर विन लॉस रेशियो.
31 wins, 11 losses, but that's
No,
since
not
the
11. It
start
should
of
be
the
9.
pandemic.
It should be 9.
No, no, no,
After
no, no. I'm saying
Gaba.
from the start of the pandemic. I'm saying from the start of the pandemic,
Yeah,
it's
so
31-11.
two loss of BGT only. So after that, it's a 4:1 ratio, 32 win and 9 loss. So this is as good as you take any team from like Lloyd, Ponting, Steve, or any team you can take.
Yeah, no.
This is this.
क्या कहते हैं? So I was noting this exact thing. So
Hmm,
the two best test teams of this particular era.
hmm,
So I'm saying this era from this generation. This
hmm.
generation started around 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
So the two best teams of this era are India 2016 to 2020. And so India's win loss ratio from 2016 to 2020, they had 30 wins and 10 losses. So that's
3 to
30
1.
to 10.
Hmm.
And this Australian era, starting from the pandemic, they have 33 wins and 11 losses. So that's again the same 3 to 1 ratio. But if you exclude that particular
Tim Payne era.
TJT, then it becomes 31-9, as you were saying.
Yeah. So as you just count Alex Carey era from Alex Carey debut. So he has played all the test.
I was counting the Cameron Green era, but you can go with the Alex Carey era.
No, no. The fun fact I have mentioned many times that Australia has never lost a series when Cameron Green and Alex Carey are part of the series, full series.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah. So no, the point is not appreciating Australia, but Australia is, as you mentioned beautifully, they are the one of the finest team of modern era, and South
Correct.
Africa is also right now going. I think their best era since Grim Smith.
Yeah, I think they're a very good team, and they're I wouldn't say they're a complete team because I think the batting is a bit flaky. I think their bowling is incredible because not only are the fast bowlers incredibly good, but now even the spinners are just absolutely fantastic. So
And
they have a
thanks
complete
to
attack for
thanks to
all conditions.
WTC, they are getting more bowling favorable conditions wherever they are going.
Yeah. So they have a complete attack for all conditions at the moment, and
Hmm.
their batting is good enough to sort of cobble together a score for that attack to work with. I
Yeah, it's
think they're a I think South Africa are on a bit of a hot streak. They're not quite as good as the results have been recently. I
yeah.
think they're on a bit of a hot hand right now. I think
Hmm.
the results will start to go down a bit from now on. For
It's like
example,
how
I think
how Marnus streak went. Huh?
correct. I think yeah, that's the sort of streak they're currently on.
Hmm.
I think, I think shit's been sweet for them. I think it's gonna go a bit down for them, but they're still an incredibly good team. They're very good.
Yeah. So the again, my point was not appreciating Australia or South Africa, but England is behind only these two teams.
Correct. You're trying to contextualize them.
Yes, and still they are getting hit like they are uh, doing West Indies kind of performance.
Yeah,
Even if, even if you take series wise, so I think they have played 15 series and they have lost only three series.
mhm.
Out of three, one in India where everyone was losing before Gautam Gambhir. So it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah,
Um,
not at all.
a- and one in Australia where if you compare with their previous 15-year performance, still it's plus because
Yeah.
they're able to at least win a test. And even in Australia, barring India performances, it's very tough to win.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And another series loss in Pakistan, where Pakistan literally had to play all Sam Dam Dand Bhed to just win, to play almost 11th day or 12th day pitch, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Apart from it, they didn't lost any series, and still. So I mean, just wanted to cut it short. Given England perspective only after this KP Swan Cook era, do you think this baseball era still gives a positive result for their fans or on overall picture? Uh,
I don't think it gives a positive result to their fans because I think their fan base, like the cricketers themselves and the kya kehte hain, and the general ecosystem, they put too much emphasis on the Ashes, and so they've not got the Ashes with them. So I don't think the fans are happy with the era at the end of it. But I think overall it has improved English cricket. They've got more out of themselves than they would have without this particular
yeah,
era.
but
That is definitely the case.
Ashes, barring this uh, 10-year period, let's say 2005 to 2015, even before their so-called critics used to see it losing only.
Yeah,
From 87 to 2018 years, they lost everywhere, home or away.
correct. Yeah.
So I think Asia's is not. I can understand this rivalry context and all, but from overall, my only हर बार मैं यही I think मैं सही से convey नहीं कर पाता because the team they got, Stokes the team they got, be it Crawley, Pope, Duckett, what apart from Root obviously. तो जितना उनको मैक्सिमाइज किया जा सकता था उतना उसने करा इन
Mm-hmm.
प्लेयरों से।
Mm-hmm.
इससे बेटर आउटपुट वो नहीं दे सकता था।
Absolutely. I think he got the most out of his team across, or close to the most out of his team across these 3 years, apart from this Ashes. I
एंड
think
स्टिल
this Ashes they have not got the most out of the
yes,
talent they've had
yes,
on hand.
yes, yes, and still I firm believe that I mean you lose two bowlers who have taken most number of wickets in Test history,
Yeah.
Anderson and Broad back to back, and even after that you have this kind of lineup.
Yeah,
So
and
still you will
and you
see
also
the
lose a bowler who had a lot of promise in Ollie Robinson.
yes, Ollie Robinson and Archer with any time you give and take condition.
Correct.
So I think 1/10 of Bumrah in terms of fitness. So and even after that you have this promising future, be it Tongue, Atkinson, Cars, Potts. So apart from spin, where I'm not sure what going in their mind, they dumped Leach after backing so many years, and then they have promised मतलब बशीर को इतना किया फिर उसको खिलाया नहीं। तो स्पिन पे अभी भी आई एम नॉट श्योर क्या वो करेंगे। हार्टली भी आया वो गया, पता नहीं अभी कहाँ है उसे भी नहीं पता। बट एटलीस्ट पेस बॉलिंग अटैक उनका आई थिंक सॉर्टेड है।
Yeah, especially with how Tung has come along. I
टंग
think
इज
they've built up a nucleus for the next few years. They'll have Tung, they have Atkinson, and these guys are not too old. It's not like they're in their 30s.
या
So, Tung, Atkinson, Archer is still gonna play the odd test here or there. Um, yeah, their pace bowling is sorted and looking good for the future in terms of being decent enough. So that's good. But all I would say is, क्या कहते हैं? They need to. This is a broader point. Maybe we'll come back to this later. But they need to have better bowling coaches and structure around them to get the
ट्रू,
best out of these players going forward.
टोटली एग्रीड एंड दिस पॉइंट आई हैव डिस्कस विद शुक्ला जी ऑल्सो दैट आई मीन स्टोक्स विल डेफिनेटली नॉट एग्री विद दिस, बट डू यू थिंक दैट अगर कोई और कोच होता है स्टोक्स के साथ तो वी कुड हैव सीन मच बेटर रिजल्ट?
Oh, I think so. McCullum himself says he does bugger all in the dressing room. So, क्या कहते हैं? I think this combination has been working well enough up till this particular Ashes, but in this particular Ashes, the fault lines and the flaws in their regime really started to show, especially in the McCullum side of the regime. So, one of the core tenets of this particular regime has been the sort of emphasis on instincts and backing yourself and sort of going with the player's gut feel.
करेक्ट।
But on this particular occasion, and not sort of overbearing them with a lot of support staff around them or a large analyst team around them. So, for example, about a year ago, I think they got rid of their analyst team. I think Lehman and Wild and all those people, they were asked to leave the setup. I think it was at the start of this last summer. And so that, and also how lackadaisical they've been with regards to finding a bowling coach and having a bowling coach with this particular group around for a long duration of time. So I think these particular things really started to show in this series, where the bowlers were bowling in absolutely incorrect areas. They were not sort of building a proper plan of how to attack Australia. They did not come up with good ideas versus Travis Head with the new ball. All of these sorts of things, these are flowing down from the fact that they don't have a strong analysis team to help them figure out what they're doing wrong, and they don't have a good bowling coach to sort of guide them in the way that they need or know them for a particular duration of time to understand their game. And so this young attack, so I think they came with an attack to Australia which had all the raw materials and all the tools to be able to do well in Australia regardless of the condition. I know Jared Kimber talks about the fact that this particular attack was selected for Australian pitches from a decade ago, which are a bit flatter. But I think
डिकेड
even on these, but on even on these slightly spicy surfaces, this attack, or like the group of bowlers that they had brought over, was good enough to do well. But each of these bowlers, each and every one of them, apart from Mark Wood, who was never going to feature prominently in the series given his fitness,
Yep.
each and every one of them is on their first tour to Australia. And
Hmm.
so you need a strong guidance group around you to be able to get the best out of your attack if it's so green. You need to have a strong bowling coach who's been around them for a while. You need to have a strong analysis team to be able to tell you, okay, this is where you're currently going wrong, this is where you can improve. And they've had none of that. They've had a very sort of we'll back you no matter what is happening sort of
Even now, I
dressing
don't
room
think they have
environment where there is not enough brains and not enough feedback to them to be able to get better.
true. And luckily, I can only say luckily that these bowlers have performed exceptionally well in other countries. Like Cars
Correct.
went New Zealand, he performed exceptionally well in first two tests. Even in Pakistan, first test they have won in second inning from the pace bowlers only.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ऑस्ट्रेलिया गिवन द ऑल जब आपने इतना बना लिया था बिग हाइप ऐसे तो एटलीस्ट इतनी मेहनत तो करनी चाहिए थी आपको
It's extraordinary that you build up a series so much and
या
you come with such a
विदाउट
paucity of good planning and with such a paucity of good
एंड
strategization.
ironically Stokes gives a statement that we were over prepared.
It honestly beggars belief. So one of the things that I had thought would happen was, so I remember I made this prediction in late 2024 before our Border Gavaskar series in Australia. I said that I expected England to be better prepared for their series than we were for that series because I thought Gambhir was not a very good strategic coach and not a very good tactical coach. But somehow England has been even worse. It is extraordinary.
I mean both guys there's not much to differentiate between both guys.
Yeah, it's been extraordinary seeing how poorly prepared they've been for this challenge.
Okay, so we'll take couple of comments then we'll move to other points. Wait to see the Ashes were a damn squib. I wanna say one thing. I
Correct.
hate the fact that England was superior team and they made a mistake. Who is saying England was superior team?
I wouldn't say they were the superior team. I think they were a team that could have been more competitive, but they
Yeah,
made mistakes and therefore were not able to challenge
they had
Australia to
their
the
best
best of their
chance
abilities.
uh, and they fumbled it by playing poor shot. But it was Aussie combined effort that makes wonder. Travis head inning chasing in first test is one to remember for a long time. One under discussed aspect of the Ashes is Steven Smith is still a tactically great captain. He
Yeah, he was
still
pretty good. Yeah.
still
Apart from some periods in the fifth test, he was pretty good. Yeah.
even in fourth test second inning I think ऑब्वियसली ज़्यादा कुछ था नहीं करने को बट नीसर के साथ थोड़ा ज़्यादा कंटिन्यू कर दिया उसने Adelaide test the flattest track and hottest conditions Cummins was exceptional as skipper on day two.
Yeah, he was good, but more than as skipper, he was exceptional as a
Bowler,
bowler on day two.
yeah.
The bowling, I think Australia in that first innings in Adelaide
Hmm.
is the highest quality period of cricket in this series because their bowling was fucking exceptional. That first innings in Adelaide on
Hmm.
that flat pitch, the way they bowled is some of the highest quality bowling I've ever seen.
I think that's similar to how Bumrah bowled no in 2018.
Yeah,
Uh,
in Melbourne. Yeah, especially Melbourne and Perth. Yeah,
yes. I mean when India was batting ऐसा लग रहा था कोई बिल्कुल डेड पिच है.
correct. And then
खेली
he
जा
comes on and it looks like a completely different pitch.
Yeah. Even then, that March and Head was going nicely well. जब उसने डाला था वो slower ball.
Uh huh.
Okay, I'm not going to. Otherwise, you will go in a different direction.
Yeah, I would talk too long about it.
Stokes' final nail in the coffin was that weak, mean comment that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, no, it did show the fault lines. It showed that that was a team where sort of the belief was leaving them, or
Hmm.
not just the belief was leaving them, but they were sort of unsure of their methods. So in the next test, they sort of curtailed their baseball way of playing on an Adelaide pitch where you could actually try it more than some of the other surfaces, like driving on the up and all of those sorts of other things.
Hmm.
That Adelaide surface was more amenable to those sorts of scoring options than other surfaces were. But they they wavered and they blinked. So I think they blinked, and they were not sort of steely, not steely enough. I'm also going into the weak man area, but essentially it showed that they were a team trying to doubt their methods and trying to sort of second guess themselves, which
Hmm.
is in fact one of the core aspects of basketball, is to never second guess yourself. But during this particular series, from that point onwards, they started guessing themselves.
Cummins and Leon bowling very well on day 4 on same test was exceptional as well to seal earn. I think already discussed. Who is the Akash Chopra of head? I didn't get it.
Unfortunately, I didn't get it either.
Sticking to one's conviction is great, but Baz is behaving like an arrogant and stubborn kid when asked about change in strategy going forward.
Yeah, yeah. So
No, no, but why people, मतलब, at least neutrals are expecting that they should, मतलब वो इनकी बात सुने. This is what they wanted to create, na? This kind of you call it aura or cult or whatever. South Africa has also lost just one test since New Zealand series. New Zealand series, one test, one.
जो उनका वो फर्जी सीरीज हुई थी where they sent the bees
अच्छा,
people.
Marnus
Yeah, they've
look,
only lost one test. They've lost that test against Pakistan. That's it.
Marnus looked awful except last test, and just seems their bowling is helping us better hit in the place for that long time. Even Green is just playing on protection, hardly in performance. नहीं, Green का तो I think I will still back him because his
Even Marnus, I back him. I think Marnus
yes,
looked better in this summer than he has in the past, recent
hmm,
past.
he spent the time but just couldn't able to capitalize.
Yeah.
This is actually a very, I mean, how I should say this. Cricket और भी sports में होता होगा कि when you judge a player by numbers or by watching the game, it's two completely different pictures.
Yeah.
If England hasn't won any series against England and India, against England तो काफी मुश्किल है अभी जीतना उनका. Would you really call baseball a success? You would only judge us against top tier teams. टॉप टीयर टीम्स ये भी हमारा अपना फिनोमिना है क्योंकि न्यूजीलैंड इज अ टॉप टियर टीम राइट नाउ. साउथ अफ्रीका इज अ टॉप टियर टीम.
हाँ, उनको हराया हुआ है.
उन्होंने
And beating
सॉरी मेरा
Pakistan
मेरा
away.
कोई मेरा इंटेंशन नहीं था बस इन्हीं दो टीमों का नाम लेना न्यूजीलैंड और साउथ
Yeah.
अफ्रीका.
So that's the issue with seeing it this way. You by judging them only on Australia and India, you end up judging them on big market teams. You don't
या
end up judging them on big quality teams or high
यस
quality teams. You're
करेक्ट.
judging them based on what will get the most eyeballs.
इवन
But
पीपल मिस इट
beating
व्हेन
New Zealand and beating South Africa, it gets less eyeballs. But those are pretty good teams too, and they've been doing that.
even when Sri Lanka went England, I dare to say that they had much more rounded team than India last year.
In a sense, yeah.
But still they beat them. Okay, at that time I think Anderson was there, so England has
No, I
not.
think Anderson had left by that time. Anderson left in the West Indies series.
Yeah, yeah, correct, correct, correct. So that was Atkinson coming of age series.
Correct, correct. That is Atkinson series.
Uh, England has not performed very poorly, but underperformed with respect to the capabilities. Exactly.
Yeah.
वेलकम बैक अभी सर, धन्यवाद जी. योर थॉट्स ऑन इंडिया बांग्लादेश सागा. यार इन सब पे तो बाकी दुनिया बात कर ही रही होगी ना. तो लोग तो ये हम क्या ही करें. ओके, सो आई विल टेक अदर कमेंट्स आफ्टर सम टाइम. द मेन पॉइंट विच आई वांट टू डिस्कस बिकॉज सोशल मीडिया पे बहुत चलता रहता है जस्ट जब भी रूट रन बनाता है स्मिथ रन बनाता है. सो हाउ यू विड रेट जो रूट परफॉर्मेंस इन दिस सीरीज. बिफोर यू स्टार्ट आई विल शेयर माई थॉट्स बिकॉज इवन बिफोर दिस सीरीज जैसा लोग. यार मेरी आवाज मुझे ही आ रही है.
नहीं नहीं, I can hear you.
ओके, सो रूट की जो परफॉर्मेंस रही है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में इवन इसके पहले, तो जितना लोग डिमीन करने की कोशिश करते हैं वैसी नहीं है उसकी.
Mm-hmm.
तो कंसिस्टेंट रहा है वो पहले भी. आई थिंक 8-9 50 प्लस स्कोर उसके पहले भी 10-11 मैचेस में. और इस बार भी आई थिंक वो आई मीन ये मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है, यू कैन शेयर योर ओन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। जैसे लोग करेंगे ठीक है 2 ही इनिंग में चला, बाकी में नहीं चला, बट जो 2 इनिंग में चला वो बहुत अच्छा चला वो। तो मतलब ऑलमोस्ट डेढ़ 150 रन बनाए में तो नॉट आउट भी था। तो वो मतलब सीरीज डिफाइनिंग स्कोर हो सकते थे वो, अगर
करेक्ट, या।
उसको मिलता सपोर्ट या कुछ भी। तो या, सो व्हाट्स योर थॉट्स ऑन, स्टिल आई वुड से दैट for me it's little bit of underwhelming, given his uh,
Mhm.
rich form previously, जैसा वो रहा है इस
Mhm.
decade में फॉर्म में। तो I was still expecting at least few more, because ध्रुव का जो सिग्नेचर रहा है पूरे थ्रू आउट हिज करियर नो, कि पता नहीं चलता कब वो 25 रन पहुंच जाता है।
Mhm.
बैटिंग करने आएगा, यू जस्ट ब्लिंक ब्लिंक ऑफ आई, ही विल बैटिंग ऑन 30 रन विदाउट टेकिंग एनी रिस्क और एनीथिंग।
Mhm.
तो
Mhm.
वो थोड़ा आई थिंक कमिंस ने थोड़ा आके एक तो वो डैमेज कर दिया एक मैच में। और बाकी भी इवन बोलैंड के अगेंस्ट भी, या फिर किसी किसी इनिंग में थोड़ा सा स्क्रैची लगा वो। बट पूरा कॉन्टेक्स्ट अगर देखें तो मेरे ख्याल से फिर भी उसकी काफ़ी सही परफॉर्मेंस रही थी।
Yeah, I thought he scored 400 runs in this series at an average of 45
हम्म।
against a high quality attack, which this Australian attack was. It not the highest quality because they were missing two exceptional bowlers and Nathan Lyon, at least from the non-Adelaide tests.
हम्म।
तो क्या कहते हैं, that sort of production in a series has to be a good series. Now, you could say that okay, two of his innings were innings where he scored runs, but in the rest of the innings he did not score many runs. And it's like, okay, so if he had scored a number of 70s and 80s, your complaint would be that he hasn't scored any match defining runs. And now those match defining runs have come and you're still
दिस
complaining.
इज दिस इज एग्जैक्टली दे आर कंप्लेनिंग फॉर ब्रूक।
Yeah, how can you have the same complaint for one person and the complete opposite complaint for the other person?
तो
You're essentially saying,
गिवन यू बिलोंग
I
टू
am
विच फैन
angry he
क्लब।
did not have a 600 run series or a 500 run series, but that's a completely different complaint. You can't complain that, his scores were too large and the other scores were too small. Like his median score was not high enough. You
इट्स
cannot have that complaint while
सेम
also
सेम
complaining about Harry Brook not
सेम
making his scores large.
Same goes for Stark, no? He took wicket in two six for 1 7 for, right?
Yeah.
After that, only 2 wicket, 3 wickets. He didn't take any 4 for even.
Uh huh.
So same can be said for him.
Yeah. So मैं क्या कह रहा था?
Root.
About Root. So he didn't get going in a number of innings over here, like you mentioned. But when he did get going and those particular hundreds, I mean, those were virtuoso performances.
Hmm.
You know, his ability to construct his innings, his ability to know what the shot options are for that particular surface, who to go after, how to sort of navigate his innings, which phases of the innings he needs to play out, which ones he need to attack more. Those are all on display in those two hundreds that he scored. They were
Yep.
two magnificent hundreds. And so, kya kehte hain? And they were large hundreds. Those sorts of hundreds in any other context, like I was mentioning in a tweet I made, in most of the contexts, those first innings efforts would be good enough to get you a win. But
Hmm.
it's just that the team around him wasn't able to stand
And
up.
both of his hundred, it's not like what they called stat padding.
No, no, the first
Literally,
innings
he
hundreds are really
carried in
stat
both
padding.
innings. Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, one with Archer, he almost took them to 60 70 runs for last
Yeah.
wicket.
Yeah. Without that particular innings, England would be nowhere in that test match. They'd be like 250 all out, and Australia would have scored
Lost,
500.
yeah,
They would have
correct.
lost by an innings.
Innings. So root is another thing that even if you remove this series, no, and 2021 series you take, or 2017 series, so he has performed very well in both two series as well. So I was just checking in last 10 years, opposition batters performed in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So only Pujara and Pant,
Hmm.
these
Those
two
are the two
guys,
names I was expecting here.
yeah, have done. One surprising name was there, but sample size not too big, not too small. The Azhar Ali. So
Because of the
26.
innings in Melbourne that he
Yes,
scored. Yeah.
yes. But if you count only these, like from this Cummins, Stark, Hazlewood, Leon all together started playing. So 2017, if you take, then he's performed very well.
Yeah.
Then it takes us to another controversial point, which I think you only quoted that article, so it came in my feed about some uh, where they mentioned that neither goat nor lamb.
Oh
That
yeah.
so first I was surprised whether it is actual an article or a clickbait. This- and then I found very shocking that बहुत सारे लोग उसको मतलब सपोर्ट भी कर रहे हैं.
वो करेंगे ही. Great players always get criticized for the smallest things.
Wow. So can you repeat it one more time?
Oh, great players always get criticized for the smallest things.
Yeah, pretty good quote. So the thing is that he picked only three bowlers, and even out of those three, that gentleman didn't had courtesy to mention exact numbers of Hazelwood.
Uh-huh.
I mean, for Cummins he mentioned 22 odd, Bumrah he mentioned 30 odd, Hazelwood was low number, something like that. Exact number is low number. So he picked three bowlers, and first of all, how out of the blue Hazelwood came in the same this hierarchy.
Yeah, Rabada is not in the hierarchy, but Hazelwood is.
Just because he has comparatively low numbers against Hazelwood. And who decided that 30 is a low number?
Yeah, 30 is not that low.
If you someone like Bumrah, if I'm not wrong, he has played 666 balls of Bumrah
Yeah.
route and he scored 333 run. Why I remember because it's very symmetrical number 33666. So almost 111 overs and he got out only 11 times, right?
Yeah, 11 times.
11 times. I mean, uh, 111 overs 11 times, almost 10 or 11 overs each. So
And between those overs when he was getting out, he was scoring runs against everybody else and
yes,
actually
that
compiling good hundreds.
yes, that's the point. No, that if someone like Bumrah, if you he's scoring even 30 runs, it means from other side he's scoring 40 runs at minimum.
Yeah.
So and
More
then
than 40 because he'll score at a higher rate, like 56, 50
and
runs against everyone else.
who uh, is there any single batter or bowler who doesn't have bad numbers against few bowlers or batters?
Exactly.
You
And
name
you
it.
pick up any great batter,
Yeah.
if someone is averaging 50 in test match cricket, it's obvious that he's going to be averaging high
That's
against
that's
like
the
shit bowlers, but
concept,
averaging in the 30s against good bowlers.
and that's the concept of average.
Yeah, that's how averages work.
So, I mean, you just name it, no? Like, even you take your Steven Smith or like who else? Williamson. Even you pass Lara, Sachin. You name it, I can throw it five, six names that these bowlers. It's not like they will struggle against those bowlers, but they have poor numbers.
Yeah.
So, like nobody bring Yasir Shah name for Steven Smith or Rangana Herath name or Wagner name.
Hmm.
But just because it's root and this kind of, I think it will keep coming with his every 100 or every milestone.
Yeah, the closer he gets to Sachin, they'll keep on mentioning this more often.
Yeah. Okay. So next point was that, yeah, Stokes future. What do you think about where Stokes, whether we will able to see him as a captain or as a player for how long?
I think he's motivated to be captain for a bit longer,
Yeah.
and I hope he remains captain because I think there is still value in his captaincy. And क्या
And
कहते
don't have
हैं?
any alternate option also.
Yeah, there's not many readily available alternate options, and Harry Brook,
It
through
might
his behavior, has shown that
catastrophic for him.
yeah, it's through his behavior and through his things he's shown that he's not quite ready for
He
that
might
step
lose
up
his
in
white ball
responsibility.
captaincy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then another point, which I think after new ball, this is where they lost the series. This their opening partnership in batting,
Oh, because yeah, I can see that.
because from Duckett and Smith, Jamie Smith, these two guys came in Australia with very big promise,
Hmm.
and even I was expecting decent outing from at least from Duckett, but
Ah,
they have
I
showed
see.
that they have worked out, like how last year they worked for Pant.
Uh-huh.
So
I
what
was
your
I was a bit I was slightly different. I was a bit of the opposite. So out of the two non-performers in this series, Jamie
Hmm,
Smith and Duckett, I was
hmm,
expecting Smith to have a decent series, and I expected Duckett to struggle a bit because
okay.
Duckett is a bit of a low hands player and also plays with that sort of angle bat sort of shot he plays outside off stump. So
Mhm.
on these high bounce Australian surfaces, I expected him to nick off fairly often. I expected Smith to do well because I thought, once the ball gets older and there's not much seam movement on off
Ball never
swing,
get older when he came.
and क्या कहते हैं, and he can play his cross bat shots, which is very good at. I expected that he could score some runs, but he's been, I think, of all of the players in the batting lineup of England, the player who underperformed
Yes,
expectations the most was Jamie Smith.
James Smith. Even with his keeping also.
Yeah, his keeping was quite bad too.
Yeah. So and few words on tongue.
Her tongue is quite good. I
Ramraj sir, if listening, then he will.
he would have spoken about him for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I and
And again,
honestly,
sorry. Again, this H2H mentioning, no. So tongue has dismissed Stephen Smith. I think 6 out of 7 times. The other time he was not out.
I was
So.
reading this good article one of my mutuals, Rahul Iyer, wrote
Mhm.
for Wisden. He wrote a very good article about why tongue troubles
Hmm.
Steven Smith because he is a combination of factors which does trouble a large number of batsmen. And obviously, Steve Smith is amongst those
Yeah.
batsmen that get troubled by this confluence of factors. So he has a wider release point, he can seam it away, and he is bowling from a pretty decent release point. And so, those combination of factors, along with the fact that, you know, क्या कहते हैं, he is fairly high pace.
Hmm.
So all of those particular things are
And
good
it's
enough
very
to trouble.
surprising. I mean, like Archer, it looks like very casual, but
Mhm.
still he's clocking high 140s.
Yeah, yeah. Even Tongue doesn't look when
Hmm.
he is running in. He looks a bit. He doesn't look like an athlete. He's a bit of a
Next door boy.
yeah. He looks a bit paunchy, doesn't he? And so
Yeah,
you wouldn't expect he's got a bit of a double chin going on. He's got a wispy sort of mustache and beard.
so I'm
You
sure
don't
you
think that this is a fearsome fast bowler,
you
but
know about his the backstory. It's
Josh Tongue's backstory? No, I
yeah,
don't know. No.
he at 25 years age he was thinking of retirement.
Acha.
He has this level 2 or level 3 coaching certificate, so he was thinking to start his coaching career.
Acha.
uh, he has very long history of injuries, and
Yeah.
injuries not like this regular injury is always there, like shoulder injury, back injuries, but he has some uh, different kind of like chronic kind of things as well, which needs to be managed by this injection and all the
Ah, I
time.
see. I
Yeah.
see.
So whenever, and from his beginning he was very highly high prospect from
Hmm.
county, but whenever he gets his chance he gets injured. So
Hmm.
when he got his limelight in before 2023 Ashes, he dismissed Stephen Smith in a county game when Smith was playing for Sussex, I guess. So,
Acha.
so after that he got his debut against Ireland only. So he picked
Yeah.
Pfeiffer, and then he again he played one test in Lords, where from he dismissed this Warner, Khwaja, and Smith
Yeah.
in Warner and Smith in both innings,
Yeah.
and then he got injured again for 14-15 months.
Hmm.
So out of picture clearly. But then again, uh, he revamped his work. And then when he was physically fit, they didn't pick him in all games.
Yeah, no, I think England, the entire England ecosystem was underrating him. The
Hmm.
journalists, the fans,
Maybe he's not getting
the
fit in baseball
management
philosophy.
itself. Sorry.
Maybe he's not getting fit in baseball philosophy, as you are saying, no, that he's not looking like athlete. So the aura kind of thing is not getting fit.
Yeah, although funnily enough, given the baseball era obsession with release points and being wider of the crease and creating angles, all of those, and being high pace, he was
Mhm.
ticking all of those check boxes,
Yeah.
and yet they were underrating him. It is quite fascinating why that was happening.
And he's not getting new cherry. He's almost,
And he's the sort of wicket taker without control that they sort of like,
yep.
where like, oh, you attack as much as you want, we don't care about the runs you go for. And
Hmm.
so he was ticking all of those boxes, and so their aversion to picking him was quite, it was a bit curious.
It's
I
kind
can
of
understand, for
red.
example, why they were not keen on picking Matthew Potts, because Matthew Potts
Huh.
is not the sort of high attributes person that Josh Tongue is, but Josh Tongue is the high attributes person that I thought they would be very keen on picking,
It's a
but they weren't.
kind of red ball version of Tremlet.
Yeah,
Sorry, Plunkett, not Tremlet,
Plunkett,
Plunkett.
Plunkett, yeah.
Plunkett.
And so क्या कहते हैं, after we talked about Ramaraj over here and his क्या कहते हैं, his scouting of tongue. It's one of the best calls I've seen,
Hmm.
because honestly क्या कहते हैं, I was seeing him. I only got to see him often during the summer against us in India, right? Because that's the only time I really got to see him up close.
Hmm.
And he looked like he was lacking control. But once I saw him in the 100, क्या कहते हैं, in the 100, he was incredibly impressive. I saw him and I was like, why is this guy not an automatic pick for England in white ball cricket? And so immediately from then, they've drafted him into the squad now. And so
Hmm.
now even they've seen it. क्या कहते हैं कि, oh, this guy's pretty good. And so
Ramraj
he
sir,
should immediately come into the 11 for them
I'm
in
not
white
sure
ball.
why people just keep make fun of it. Even for Prasidh Krishna also, no, I find uh, that sporting also very good.
Sorry, could you continue?
No, I was saying about Ramraj sir only scouting that similar way. The his Prasidh Krishna one, no.
Yeah.
So even people keep making fun of every time Prasidh leaks run or whatever. But I find Prasidh is like he could become Plunkett for India in limited overs.
Yeah, when Prasidh Krishna first came onto the scene, I actually hoped that would be the case, that he would
Hmm.
be our
But
middle
they're
overs
using it
enforcer.
wrong. Management is
हाँ, मैनेजमेंट चूतिया है. हाँ, but क्या कहते हैं, that was my hope from him, that क्या कहते हैं, that you'd have Bumrah and Siraj, or Bumrah and Shami with the new ball, and then you have
hmm.
Prasidh Krishna through the middle overs. And then a couple of years ago, I got my ultimate dream. My ultimate dream for the 2027 World Cup was India opens the bowling with Harshit Rana and Bumrah, and what was his name? Mayank
Harshdeep
Yadav is the enforcer through
Yadav.
the middle overs. But now Mayank Yadav is injured, and my dream is looking
Mayank
diddly squat.
Yadav, once he played BGT in Australia, after then he never recovered.
No, he didn't even play the BGT in Australia. He played the
No,
BGT in Australia in people's minds.
yeah, on Twitter he played actually.
हमारे
निखिल
ख्यालों में आ रहा था कि वो
निखिल
पर्थ
भाई
में भागता हुआ आएगा, बट वो भागता हुआ हॉस्पिटल चला गया यार.
लोगों ने ट्विटर से ही नजर लगा दी थी.
दैट
ओके
वाज माय
तो
ड्रीम, दैट वाज माय प्रोजेक्ट 2027 कि
प्रोजेक्ट
2027 में बुमराह, हर्षित, एंड हर्षित विल गिव बैटिंग डेप्थ टिल नंबर 8, और मयंक यादव होगा, एंड वील हैव द परफेक्ट टीम. हुआ ही नहीं. होगा ही नहीं, आई थिंक.
now ironically this also discussing with Shukla ji in that people were just going gaga about on first day of Vijay Hazare Trophy that Rohit ne maar diya, Kohli ne maar diya, isne maar diya, usne maar diya. 22 centuries were scored on that day.
Uh-huh.
22 centuries. But I mean, India's batting order is already sorted even for 2031 World Cup in ODIs. then why people are bothering about batters? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's all
you
about the
focus on
bowlers.
bowler, no? I mean, one bowler apart from Bumrah, और कौन सा फास्ट बॉलर है जिसका श्योर शॉट है सिलेक्शन 2027 के लिए?
शो शॉट तो किसी का नहीं है इन
हाँ,
दैट
तो
सेंस.
when you're building a team, you need at least 3 to 4 bowlers, right, for a squad.
Yeah.
तो सिराज
Uh,
को उन्होंने पता नहीं कहाँ साइडलाइन कर दिया कि
mhm.
भाई तुम टेस्ट ही खेलो, बीच बीच में T20 कभी खेल लो, ओडीआई मत खेलो, जबकि ओडीआई गिवन हिज नंबर्स ओडीआई इज स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट फॉर्म है.
या ऑल्दो आई थिंक उसका उसको रेस्ट भी करा रहे थे कि
हाँ.
ओडीआई मत खेलो, टेस्ट खेलो ताकि तुम्हारी फिटनेस बनी रहे. तो
ट्रू.
आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट ऑन सम
हम्म.
लेवल.
हाँ, बट उसके बाद चलो एक अर्शदीप का भी दिख रहा है और हर्षित का दिख रहा है
या
प्रॉमिस.
I think they are getting a decent enough idea ki Bumrah,
हम्म.
and then around him you have Siraj, Arshdeep, and Harshit Rana. Siraj is there for new ball bowling. Arshdeep is there for the left arm angle and all phase sort of option. And you have Harshit Rana ki wo hit the deck bowler hai और वो batting depth भी देता है थोड़ा सा.
बट
तो
स्टिल यू नीड couple of more option given injuries and lack of form.
yeah, and none of these three guys I've mentioned are
Hmm.
absolute sure shots for 2027. They're the
Yep.
likely people to go there, but in between you could see, for example, Siraj losing form or
Hmm.
Harshit not
Injuries happened.
becoming
Yep.
the bowler we all hope he becomes, or not developing the way we hope he develops,
True.
and Arshdeep sort of falling away.
Hmm.
All of this could happen.
So we will take remaining comments quickly. Uh, if Stokes is England best bowler, why doesn't he back himself with new ball?
See, that was one of the things we were talking about how England did not maximize their resources, and how Ben Stokes' captaincy was not able to maximize the resources he had at hand. And so, yeah, I think it was a tactical blunder. I think they
So
could
do you
have
think
used him more.
he should have tried with new ball
I think he should have come earlier into the attacks, yes.
earlier or new ball?
In some of the innings with the new ball, not every innings, because
Yeah.
he also has some batting responsibility.
Yeah.
So that takes some energy out of him, and he needs
And
some time
also,
to
I think
recover.
Head could have targeted him from first over itself.
Head could have, but Head was targeting everyone else from the first over in any case, and so.
Yeah, but I mean, in initial game, at least they have Archer. So
Oh yeah,
after
no, no. I'm
Hmm.
saying once Archer was out of the series,
Yes.
and once Atkinson was not being played. Once
Hmm.
those two guys are not being
By
played, the
that
side
time, he has
gains.
already bowled, I think, 50 odd overs in that series.
Correct, correct. And so there is that particular sort of caveat that you cannot start him with the new ball in all the innings because he needs some time to recover.
And this all capitulation of all things, I think, created frustration in Stokes' mind. That even back of the mind, he knew that I should do this, but he could not able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, with better catching, it could have been a lot closer. बेटर कैचिंग तो सबके साथ, बट कैचिंग वो ऐसा नहीं है कि कैच उन्होंने बिल्कुल जीरो पे छोड़ दिया या 5 पे छोड़ दिया. कई कैचेस उन्होंने ऐसे छोड़े जहाँ तक मैच निकल चुका था हाथ से इनके.
Yeah, that's something I was mentioning. So I think a couple of a few people are saying that the catches were decisive in the series. I don't see it that way. I
इंडिया
think
सीरीज
the
में एक्चुअली डिसाइसिव थे.
yeah, yeah. I think catching is a long-term problem for this particular English side. That is definitely true. But I don't think the catches themselves in this series were decisive. So there were no drop catches at Perth, right?
Yep.
And at the Gabba, there was only one drop catch early, and that was the Travis Head drop catch when Jamie Smith dropped him very early off Archer. And that was a terrible drop, but
हम्म.
there weren't many drops until Australia were already at
हाँ,
England's
एक
score
99 पे था, एक जो छोड़ा था ब्रूक ने, तब तक ऑलरेडी निकाल चुका था मैच.
at Adelaide. Yeah. So, क्या कहते हैं? By the time they had lost the Ashes, all the catches that they were dropping were ones they had already been deflated.
Yep.
तो deflate हो गए थे तब उन्होंने drop
कैच
किए थे
छूटा.
वो catches.
एज अ डाई हार्ड ऑजी सपोर्टर, सो राजा सर के लिए आई एम नॉट श्योर वेदर यू नो हिम और नॉट. तो ये पहले शख्स मैं मिला सोशल मीडिया पे, जो मेरी नॉलेज में मुझसे भी पहले ऑस्ट्रेलिया के फैन है, बीइंग एन इंडियन। सो ही इज ऑसी फैन फ्रॉम 1974।
अच्छा।
या, so you can guess his age now. So
Uh-huh. I think I've seen him around. I've generally liked the interactions I've had with him,
yeah,
but he doesn't
very
follow me, so we don't interact much.
fantastic human being. So we used to discuss a lot those Lily Thompson instances, and he remember each and every. This is the thing with all these guys, no, radio era.
Uh,
Now people don't remember even a few months back series, but
I
they
don't
don't.
remember half the things from last week.
They, no, we were like. So he's saying, I thoroughly enjoyed this Asia series. No, I was a bit disappointed. Dubey ji has sent me a congrats message as well that 4-1 हो गया. So I told him the same that 4-1 का तो रेशियो चल ही रहा है 4 साल से. तो उसमें क्या? Congratulations. We must not forget the difference in coaching also. Australia were exceptional. Smith Manas, Cotton Bold. Cotton Bold, yeah. Cotton Bold more than Nisar, but it was a brain fade. Uh, that inning was now, I mean, one of the most horrible batting display I've seen from Pope Crawley. that एक कैच छूटा भी, उसके बाद भी दोनों वही सेम शॉट पे कॉटन बोल्ड लेके चले गए.
They kept on driving it.
हम्म.
Was it at the Gabba, right? Second innings.
यस, पोप का
Yeah.
तो मतलब इवन ही मेड दो 20 ऑड रन, वो रन भी बड़ी मतलब किस्मत अच्छी थी कि बन गए उससे.
You felt like he could be dismissed at any point of time.
यस,
Yeah.
द वे ही वाज प्लेइंग. Compare with England dropping from the series could have been 3-2 Australia, or even 2 Australia were exceptional in this department.
I I
Uh,
I will put it this way. I think England dropping catches did not make much of a difference to the series, but Australia's fielding, if they had dropped some of their catches, the series could have been close. If
yeah.
Australia had not taken all of the absolute hangers that they were taking, this series could have been closer. But Australia were exceptional in the field. Carey, we've talked about Carey disrupting the baseball methods. If
Hmm.
Carey had not come up to the stumps and not been as exceptional as he was with his keeping, this series could have been closer.
Yeah.
So Australia,
And
what
this is not,
Australia did
this is,
made
they
this series.
they have planned very recently only, that McDonald planned with when they came to know that okay, Cummins and Hazelwood is not going to play. Then
Interesting.
only they have asked Carey, and Boland was not happy with it, because for
Yeah.
any bowler it's kind of ego hurt hota hai na. When you see
Okay, this fun fact. You know what hurts my ego?
yeah.
There is, in his entire international career, there
Hmm.
is exactly one ball
Hmm.
in his career where the keeper has stood up to Bumrah.
Where I'm not
and
able to recollect it.
uh, I know the exact ball, but do you know what happened of that ball? I want you to guess what happened of that ball.
Hmm. Bouncer.
No, thick outside edge, keeper
Okay.
not able to react 4 runs.
Where when did it happen?
This happened during the 2016 World T20. Dhoni came up to the stumps because Tamim Iqbal used to like charging out of his crease ना. वो फास्ट
Okay.
बॉलर्स पे चार्ज करता हुआ आता था कि वो भागता हुआ आता था.
Hmm.
तो धोनी came up to the stumps for
तो
Bumrah
बुमराह
for
का भी
one ball.
पता नहीं होगा ना उसे.
हाँ, और बुमराह then bowled it so fast outside edge लगा, फिर वो धोनी went back.
I
But it
totally.
pains me that there is one delivery in his career where the keeper fucking stood up to him. Why would you stand up to him?
No, even if you अगर मेंशन नहीं किया होता तो किसी को पता भी नहीं चलता.
Uh,
हेलो भाई लोग, क्या कहते हैं? गुड टू सी यू गाइस. थैंक्स अ लॉट. Did not follow the series well. Major reason for England not competing was the ill planned bowling. But do you guys think carry keeping was actually exactly यही मेंशन किया अभी
yeah,
डीपली ने.
it was very deterrent to their methods. Yeah, and not only did they stand up to the stumps, but what they started fucking around with England at one particular point of time. They made it
Yeah.
stand up. There was one over in Adelaide when Brooke was batting
Hmm.
and Boland was bowling. Where क्या कहते हैं? I'll be there in 5 minutes. Yeah, just talking to somebody. Uh, there was one particular over to Boland where from Boland to Brooke where The first ball of the over, Carey stood up to the stumps. The second ball of the over, he went back. Third
Hmm.
ball of the over, he came
Again.
back up to the stumps. Fourth ball, he went back again. And they kept alternating it. And by the end of the over, Harry Brook became so frustrated that instead, because the keeper was standing up, he tried to lap scoop the ball by falling over, and he
Hmm.
almost got dismissed bowled. And so, yeah, I mean, they really really messed with the baseball methods over there in that series with Carey standing up.
Phil Webster should be a regular in 11, especially with head moving at top. His off spin can be really challenging in upcoming BGT. It's not as much challenging, but yeah, pretty much useful. Like similar to Simons. I mean, less than Simons, but this is actually ये थोड़ा फिनोमिना
Handy
देखा है
part
मैंने.
timer. He's
हाँ,
like Travis said, handy
ये
part timer.
ये एक फिनोमिना देखा है मैंने, मतलब अपने यहाँ इंडियन हेल्थ में, कि जस्ट बिकॉज someone can bowl or someone can bat doesn't mean he's good in that department.
That is the Gambhir way of thinking, yes.
Do you still see Crawley playing next summer, or we might see Sibley or Hamid? Hamid, I think.
I don't think Sibley or Hamid have a chance.
uh,
But Crawley might not be there. That is possible.
yeah, Hamid is crunching runs. I'm not sure about Sibley. Hamid
Hamid ho
has.
sakta hai, but I don't
Hmm,
think they would like to go back to Hamid. I
yeah,
think they're a bit averse to him.
even Jennings is also there. He's also scoring runs,
Mhm.
or they will try some new guys.
We'll see. So
Even for Bethel, yeah, I would
Bethel
like to.
over Pope to ho gaya hai. That is set now.
But do you think this is the right call? I still think that just like Head, no, even though Head scored runs, so I still think Bethel as number three is not a good pick for long.
For long term.
Yes.
I could see why you're saying that. I think he has a solid enough technique,
Hmm.
but it would be ideal if he batted lower down the order. But the issue is that every promising batsman who is coming through, or so many of the promising batsmen are coming through, would be better lower down the order.
Hmm.
So kya kehte hain, it's a bit of a hard place for them where
But do you
they
think
need to have somebody at number 3.
Root should show some responsibility right now and should move the order to number three?
As a Tendulkar fan, I think he should.
Tendulkar himself never moved.
Tendulkar himself is calling him up. Don't you think he should be opening the batting these days?
No, no, Root has a decent record at number three as well. So
Yeah, no,
now
he could do well
and
at 3. Yeah,
yeah, now I don't think he should think about these kind of thing that number three he will struggle on. Then they can have Brook at four and accommodate Bethel or whatever. So that would solve. But they will not do this because
they will not. No,
yeah,
Bethel
as
will remain at 3. Yeah.
Cummins said, no, Cummins that batting number is overrated. So not all the people agree with this. Root had a good series, but not a Shubman Gill 700 runs. Why? How many players have 700 runs in Australia?
Exactly 19.
Then in Australia, number will reduce even less. Apart from Cook, I think no one in modern times. A problem that comes when your name is Root or Smith. No. What is the meaning of second sentence?
He's saying that because he is Joe Root and he's so great, we expect more from him, which is true.
Though, but same goes for Steven Smith as well. No, this is the
Yeah.
third consecutive Ashes where Root has outscored Steven Smith,
Hmm.
and two of three happened in Australia.
Hmm.
So just you raise the bar so high, 700 runs, then anyone will fail.
That's part of the issue is we rate players
Hmm.
based on the standards we expect from them, but we don't acknowledge the fact that we have different standards from them.
Yep.
So Joe Root, for example, I was seeing people are rating his series 3 out of 5, four
Eh?
out of five, five
Acha,
out of
three.
five, and they were saying it's because Joe Root hasn't done root level scoring. And I'm like, okay, but you understand that you're judging him based on what you expect from him,
Hmm.
right? It's if you are scoring someone out of 10, it's not on their scale, it has to be out of a general scale.
Yep.
You have to take into account the fact that you are judging him differently.
because even in this decade, I mean, every other day you will see this stat, no, that Root has scored n number of hundreds after 2020. But even in this decade, there are many series where he didn't perform well. Not because he was struggling. In initial baseball days, he was just doing some funky things.
Yeah,
Like
he was
in
just fucking around. Yeah.
first Pakistan series, all the flat pitch, everyone scored runs except him.
Yeah.
Then even in India, in initial few games. So, but all these times nobody said these things that Root didn't score run as we were expecting. Follow-up question: Carry keeping up was possible because large chunk bowled by bowler Nissan. Let's say Cummins and Hill. No,
Yeah.
as I mentioned, no, that after that McDonald discussed with Boland and Carey that we should try this.
Yeah.
And even
And
after discussion,
and if those two were playing, they would not have had any reason to come up to the stumps because the players would not be charging out of the crease in any
yes,
case.
yes, the bowling style would be different. And
Yeah.
even for this, when they have decided it, it's not like from first over itself, Carey came up, as Dupley mentioned beautifully. In the mid inning, randomly they have decided.
Yeah.
कंटिन्यूड भाई कंटिन्यूड ये ट्विटर तो नहीं है ना कि आपका कमेंट का कुछ लिमिट है वर्ड लिमिट हाउ
Uh,
वुड हैव दैट
by the way, I have to leave soon, so
या I'm just trying to cover all the comments. It will take 2 minutes.
okay.
So how would I shape this the bowling quality you the same comment. Really sorry for the long question भाई. No, it's okay. मेरे
No,
मयंक
no,
यादव और
absolutely
मोहसिन
fine.
खान कब आएंगे जीटीएस 6 के बाद मोहसिन खान इन
GTA 6 के
अनदर
बाद ही आएंगे अनफॉर्चुनेटली बस आ जाए
StreamYard link is not StreamYard unfortunately. uh, would love to host both of you on live debate show. Yeah, we will share our payment link with you. uh, just random question: who is better, Captain Smith or Cummins? No, it's
Smith slightly, but yeah.
but I don't have this metric system to decide.
Yeah.
Completely, but yeah, I would agree, Smith. But as a leader, I would say Cummins.
Yeah.
And again, I would add that anyone can become captain, but not anyone can become leader.
Yeah.
What do
It's
you think?
hard to see come in. It's hard. It's okay. And I'll leave this joke. I was about to make a joke, but it was a sandpaper joke. I'll leave it be.
What do you think about Will Jackson decision to do too badly in this series? Yeah, I surprisingly I will agree with this. He didn't do too badly. Actually, from his batting style, he showed quite composure in few innings, barring last game, considering thinking parting bowler and more of white ball. But they hard done him actually. Uh, him and Bashir both.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether we will see him in near future. So this concludes all the comments before anyone popped up again. So thanks a lot, Dupli, and hoping we will connect very soon again.
I would
Uh,
love to. Yeah.
yeah, so we'll plan and just be more active when asked. Otherwise, when I asked, you reply. In the meantime, three tests happen. Yeah. Okay.
Chalo.